Hello everybody, my name's Kanami Nika, and we are back again with more Transformers because I'm going to be making a mistake. You can probably tell where this is going from what video this is and some videos we've done in the past, but we're taking a look at more Transformers, doing a bit of catch up on some things that I didn't pick up on release, as tends to be the thing with our Sunday uploads here. That means we get to dive back into Legacy United, one of the best Transformers toy lines out there, by taking a look at a somewhat maligned release from it, and I want to see what my take on it is. Specifically, we are taking a look at the Transformers Legacy United Voyager class Cybertron Universe Vector Prime. Yep, that's a prime right there. I imagine it'll become even clearer what I'm trying to do when I get to some of like the next uploads and whatnot. But yeah, here we have Cybertron Vector Prime, who is a pretty cool looking guy, even if he is like a G-Axis retool. The Legacy box art in general is very cool and rad and shit. And this box art is no different. We have a open window that allows us to touch Vector Prime, pat him on the head like he's a cat, which goes into this wonderfully stunning artwork of his alternate mode with that nice kind of almost spray painty orange backdrop. And we have all these mechanical bits that show off the different like logos and whatnot. It's Cybertron Universe Vector Prime. There's not a bot logo. It's from Takara Tomy. It's Transformers Generations product. It's Transformers obviously, and it's from Legacy United. That logo is cool as hell. I love it. Voyager class Hasbro. This video is for older audiences, older than 13, despite what the box says. Now, as you can tell, it's in a really odd shape. It's able to somewhat generally fit into like a square-ish hole or whatever. It is full of slants, so at the top, we get more of that window to let more light through, and it says Legacy United, and it's got more of that techno greebling, which is really cool to see. The bottom is simply just legalese and whatnot. This side has a half bit of artwork. Give me a second. It's the sort of 40th anniversary Legacy United kind of crossover box art, which you kind of need to have two of in order to really complete. Thankfully, I have another Voyager class so that you can get a full look of that sort of poster. I kind of wish they just showed off the full poster on the side of the boxes. It leaves stuff like the Commander class feeling a bit unfinished. But yeah, as you can see, that's kind of how it's meant to look. Thank you, Cybertron Starscream. On this side, we get some robot mode artwork of Vector Prime, which is, again, very good, very pretty. I love how that looks. And I believe that's his name in Cybertronian or something, of the, close up, farther out, very cool. On the back, we get your usual CGI renders, which shows Vector Prime in robot and alternate mode. It takes 22 steps to get there. It's the 40th anniversary of Transformers when this was released. Cybertron Universe Vector Prime, an image of him with his cyberplanet key in his torso, and then your usual legalese and Transformers Authentic stuff. But yeah, let's get into the box now. I'm excited to see how this goes, because I do like the G-Axis mold. I have the G2 G-Axis. I think I did a video on it back when I got it. I forget exactly. I might have done it as like I think I did it with Transmetal 2 Megatron, because I did multi unboxings back then, because I'm a freak. But now I spread shit out so I can make more content, baby. Woo woo woo. I'm cynical as hell. Anyhow, you open it from the top, and you pull out a bit of cardboard. It's a little bit jammed in there. So you get your instruction manual and a little piece of paper, and turning it around, there's nothing back there. You get a look at everything that comes in the box, all rubber banded down and such. So let's get that stuff out of it. So first off, we gotta look at the accessories, which, since it's a kind of mainline Transformers product, aren't the most like crazy plentiful, but I mean, it's not meant to be that expensive, so I'll live. But first off, we have this. It is our Cyberplanet key, which is interesting to see. It is in a all blue kind of glittery plastic, which is shining quite well in the light. I really like how it looks, and it has that sort of Vector Sigma or Vector Prime like bubbling symbol, and like you can even see his little line symbol like charted in there. Yeah, this is a Cyberplanet key. It has tabs so that you can put it into the torso. I believe this port works with any of the modern like generation Cyberplanet key robots. I imagine this should work with that Starscream and with the car lady I forget the name of. But yeah, it's simple. I kind of wish I had some paint, but I don't think the original had paint, so we'll live. Next up, though, is his primary accessory, his sword, which again is mostly done up in that clear, glittery blue plastic, which has a slight playability to it, but not that crazy. It is very nicely sculpted. Some of it does get lost in the clear plasticiness of it all. But yeah, some of the sculpting does get lost in that clear plastic. It's not the worst, but I do like how it generally looks, and it looks like it has like a turning like handle, which is interesting. And the handle's done in this sort of red, so you shouldn't have to worry about things being weird or whatever. But yeah, I like the shaping of it. It's a bit small for a sword, but it's a nice sword. I think it should scale fine with him. And there's this little bit at the tip. And yeah, nice sword. I do like a sword. But now that means we have to get into the main bot himself. Not nearly as many accessories as the last Transformer I took a look at. But yeah, as you can tell, this is a retool of Legacy, I think just straight Legacy, G-Axis from G2, which I think works interestingly well. I do like that mold. It's a fun mold. I like how it feels generally. This one just is that, but it feels slightly better. This hip feels a little loose, but that's fine. I'll live. It's a nice mold, and I know people have complaints about it being reused, but let's take a look at him up close. First off, we have that head, somewhat Cybertron-y. It's a little bit, I guess, squished down. They've done a lot of squishing down with heads as of late, though. Like, especially look at the animated ones. But it does have that nice look with, like, that sort of red helmet with, like, the brownish, like tannish white sort of strips on the side there. And then the nice metallic blue at that face. And I love how the eyes are like metallic, right? It really helps them shine in the light. That's very nice. And he has his shoulder pads. Something that I think is interesting about this Vector Prime is that he's just generally made a little bit less extreme in a lot of areas. Like, his wings are smaller, his shoulder pads are smaller, and in a way that, while I kind of wish they had a little bit more size to them, it does make him feel a lot more, I guess, proportional. And, however, those new pieces are very nicely, like, detailed and sculpted and paneled, and, like, they have that nice gold plastic, but it isn't overdone, and it does make him feel very grand and, like, regal, because he is a Prime. So you kind of want that, while not feeling too distanced from, like, the old parts. Like, this is just G-Axis's arm, but, like, these don't feel too out of place with each other. And moving on to the torso, it's mostly new there as well. It has his little, like, dome at the center. Mine's a little scuffed up, but it does have a nice metallic gloss that I really like. And again, it has that nice Cybertron sculpting that just looks really, really good. I think it's done very well. Same with his crotch piece. These are, I believe, are from the old mold, but this one's new, and it has that sort of swordish sculpt, which is kind of funny to say. I do like it. It has, again, it's really able to elevate this into a more regal feeling, especially with these spots of gold. I've seen these are the most annoying parts, and I do wish there were gears here, but the cables do help get across his, like, age and, like, place in time as well. And yeah, the thing is, I've kind of covered this mold a little bit because I have done that G-Axis, so I don't know if I said more there, but yeah. And then his back is very clean, and where it isn't clean, it very intentionally isn't clean with our little cape bits. I wish these were a bit smaller, or bigger, I should say, but I'll live, and they're done in that nice blue plastic, and they do look very nice. So now, I think it's time we took a look at his articulation. So it's basically going to be the same as that G-Axis. Ball joint at the head that doesn't have a ton of range, though it does have a little bit of pliability up and down because it's not pegging in super well. So you can look up that far and down that far, has a slight amount of tilt, and basically is all swivel. Moving on, arms. A new addition is the shoulder pads. They are on hinges. They can't really go further up than this because they're going to be going up like that, but they can go down, I think, in part for transformation, but it does help make that look a little more natural. The shoulders are trigger-happy style, where it's a hinge there, then a swivel here, which is a little bit unnatural, but that's fine. You're able to fully swivel all around, and there's a little bit of down, I guess, because the mold is a little bit used up. Swivel at the bicep. There's a single-jointed elbow that's able to get more than 90 degrees. The hands are on swivels. I don't think they're on ball joints. Yeah, they're just on mushroom peg swivels, and the hands can open on a single hinge. That's very tight. Jesus Christ. I think this one might show it better. No, they do move, I think. Yeah, they move. They're just very stuck right now. Torso has a swivel. That's all the torso articulation you get, though. Hips are very nice. You're able to move them forward very far. Backward also not quite as far because of their interesting hinge point, but that's fine enough. And outward, nearly all the way. Not quite, though. There's a thigh swivel, which is nicely delineated. Single jointed knee, that's able to go basically all the way. foot has pivot forward and backward and inward, which is great. And then some new articulation. The back wings are interestingly articulated, and you should probably balance them out because you've seen he's been a little bit tricky to stand. I think that's because of the weight of these wings. It's probably better to keep them closer to his body, though. If you're willing to play around, they will weigh him back. So just be careful with that. So they're on a hinge like here that's more so inward, but they mainly hinge here, have a swivel here, and have a swivel here. So take advantage of that for the sake of capage, as you will. But yeah, I think I like him. I think he works. I think he's fun. Let's get that sword into his hand and put the Cyberplanet key on his torso. And yeah, I think he's a cool little swordsman. He has that ancient styling to him that I think is quite effective. He does have some mold degradation, unfortunately. That's making him a little bit less fun to play with, but not the worst thing in the world. And while not my favorite of the primes I've gotten so far, I think he's good. But yeah. I guess I need to try transforming him now because that's something I'm doing now. And that was the transformation. Hopefully you guys saw that. It was fine. A little fidgety in places. It's... Like, the torso had some fun flips that were interesting, but it was a little bit frustrating when certain bits would just kind of pop off, like this wing liked popping off, and this end product I do generally like. It does look close enough to Cybertron Vector Prime's alternate mode. I like this nice little, like, window that kind of indicates that it's a spaceship. I like the sword-shaped, like, thing here. That really does. It's very nice and spaceship shaped. I really like how it looks. I don't even mind this little flap. I know that's a necessity of it being the G-axis mold, but it does have a nice. I think it fits in. As much as there's a lot of bulk down here, that does kind of allow it to be almost like a flight stand-ish of sorts to help it stay up in the air a little bit. But the weapon storage I think could be better. I don't super like how the sword just kind of hangs there, but this is a nice little addition to indicate that sort of Cyberplanet key insertion process. But yeah, I do think it generally works as a ship, as much as there was some wibbliness and wobbliness. Again, the biggest thing I think I have a problem with so far is that it feels a little bit wibbly, a little bit wobbly. Like it has a bit of a hard time standing up because of a mixture of like looser joints due to it being a retool, and also the wings being like a heavier back than this mold was initially intended for, which makes standing up a little bit of a hassle, but it's not that bad. But he is still very nicely sculpted, and he looks great. I love how this figure looks. In both modes, really. I'm sorry if I have less to say about this. I have a bit of a harder time discussing the vehicle modes. It doesn't really have any articulation, by the way, just for any who are interested in. I also do have a bit of a hard time tabbing in these legs. It sits fine, and like it's not going to come undone, but it could be better. It doesn't line up super perfectly, but I'll live. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say. I do think I like this figure. I'm not sure I would necessarily fully recommend it unless you're being stupid like I am. Maybe wait for a discount, or if you like Cybertron Vector Prime. I've seen a lot of people angry about that, but I do think this is a decent update for the modern Transformers era. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want other Transformers videos in the comments below. I've got a decent number of them backlogged on the channel now, so go ahead and go through that if you are so inclined, and hopefully there will be more soon. So don't forget to subscribe so that you can stay up to date on what I am doing. And thank you all for subscribing who have subscribed. I really appreciate it. And until next time, I hope to see you around. Bye-bye!